Hello everybody, this is Rachel Saki from Los Angeles, California, and I am going to go over a figure skating tip sheet that I found, and it's published by a company called Performers Advantage LLC, Limited Liability Corporation, or Limited Liability Company. The contact number for Performers Advantage is Susan Christensen. Her title is LAT CSCS, and her email address is excuse me, susieskate@yahoo.com. susieskate@yahoo.com. Her telephone number is area code 262-353-6544. There's 21 tips here, and it's for anybody to use, whether you're a professional or a student or a coach or anyone that's just curious about figure skating and what it entails, and recommendations and suggestions for the proper diet and proper exercise routine and lifestyle for those that pursue an ice skating career. If you haven't incorporated these following tips into your lifestyle and you have interest in this, I suggest that you take note and give Miss Susan Christensen a phone call or send her an email at Performers Advantage LLC, and basically make a new friend. She's got great tips, and she appears to be very, very experienced in giving advice for this aspect of figure skating. Okay, so I am going to read off the 21 tips off of the figure skating tip sheet that she created. And these are tips to prevent injuries, improve skating performance, and prolong skating career. Okay, so 1, tips to prevent injuries. 2, improve skating performance. And 3, prolong skating career. Okay. Figure skating requires a unique combination of strength, power, endurance, flexibility, balance, and grace. A true performer will create a program full of challenging jumps, fast spins, and exciting choreography exhibiting agility, grace, and athleticism. In order to perform a dynamic program, sustain yourself through long practice sessions, and elongate your skating career, implement the following tips. Let me read that one more time. In order to perform a dynamic program, sustain yourself through long practice sessions, and elongate your skating career, implement the following tips into your current lifestyle or exercise routine. Make sure you follow these tips with guidance of a licensed healthcare professional. Okay, you have to remember that. Don't just go off, hearing the tips, looking them up, and doing them, unless you do speak to your sports healthcare professional or a regular physician that you may have, such as a chiropractor, in any sports physician or a healthcare professional that you can seek out that can help give you advice on incorporating these tips into your life is suggested, according to Susan Christensen. Okay? Or maybe she can actually give you more advice on finding and where to find a proper healthcare professional that's licensed to assist you in this. And again, her phone number is area code 262-353-6544. So, again, make sure you follow these tips with guidance of a licensed, this water is hot, a licensed healthcare professional physician clearance is suggested. I hate wearing red lipstick and then drinking from water bottles. You know, it's like pointless because you get lipstick all over the bottle, you know, and anyway, just one of my pet peeves. Okay, we're going to start. There's 21 tips. We're going to start with number 1. Start with the right equipment, okay? On ice, you need skates that fit properly, and off ice, you will need a good pair of running and cross-training shoes. Make sure you seek the help of a professional to get you into the right footwear. You may need to use padding and taping, etc., to protect yourself from blisters and corns. Okay, now I must tell you about this. People of all weights, whether you're obese or rather thin, love to exercise. It may be a little bit harder for people that are more on the obese side to get a comfortable and easy exercise routine going in their lifestyle. But I tell you, I'm not obese, but I do have areas on my body that are rather thick and uncomfortable for me in comparison to the way that I usually am as far as weight is concerned. I'm usually at 128 pounds to between 128 to 134 pounds, and I'm 5'9". Right now, I'm 175 pounds, which is pretty much like 9-month pregnancy for me. I've had 4 children, and basically when I've gotten ready to deliver, I was approximately 175 or 76, 180 pounds. So my body right now at this point, regardless of how much exercise I do, is really quite exhausting and horrific for me. It's very traumatic for me because I feel as though I'm about to deliver a baby. Okay, so I know, even though I don't look like an obese person, I know what you're feeling if you are one of those obese people. I know exactly how you feel because it's really difficult for me to get around. And it's basically, the point is not what your weight is, it's what your weight is compared to what your normal height and body ratio usually are. That makes the difference. And it feels horrible to feel like you're carrying around huge sacks of laundry while you're trying to exercise. It shouldn't feel that way. And I eat properly and I drink tons of water. So really, it's got to be something else. I'll figure it out. But when I am exercising, whether it's a little bit or a lot, whether I'm wearing shoes that are half an inch or one size larger than my feet and my toes have lots of room, whether there's fur inside my shoes, whether I have flat sandals on, whether I have soft orthopedic style shoes, there's always one little thread inside of the shoe, whether it's on my pinky toe, my second toe, the bottom pad of my big toe, the heel of my foot, the back of my ankle. There's always some piece of skin tearing or sliding or just blistering, you know, so I gotta get equipped with safety pins and Neosporin and blister pads and waterproof bandages, and then, you know, heal it and Epsom salt soaked in hot water, you know, soaking my feet in hot water, and then basically, you know, the blisters and cuts heal the next day, and then, you know, my feet are back to normal again. I mean, if I didn't know how to care for my feet properly, I would have the most hideous blistered up, calloused feet on the planet, because I have had so many injuries. I am so rough with exercising that it's just crazy and insane. So I can tell you firsthand from experience, it is essential that you learn, because you can't afford to keep going to doctors just to handle a blister on your toe. You have got to learn home remedies and methods to, regardless of how much money you spend on comfortable shoes, and padding and things like that. There's always going to be something that is going to blister or tear. We're only human. So it's imperative and essential that you learn some technique that's going to assist you in caring for your feet, because your feet are your number one tools. Those are your babies. Those are your money makers. If you have a figure skating career, I'm just saying, your feet are like Oscar trophies. You've got to love them. You've got to make love to them. You've got to massage them and care for them and pamper them. Anyway, so basically, you may need to use padding, taping, etc. to protect yourself from blisters and corns, etc. It is helpful to dress in layers so that you are always comfortable, and that's less stress on your body. I don't know. She's saying, Susan is saying, dress in layers. Okay, but I'm saying that basically when you're on the ice, you're gonna get overheated. Okay, of course it's freezing cold and you want to stay warm, but from experience, if you're a fast skater, which I used to be, I used to speed skate 5,000 meters in 3.5 minutes. So I would wear a skin suit and smoke would steam from my arms, literally. And I had to scrape the ice with my fingernails and pat it on the back of my neck just to cool off sometimes. So, it's not necessarily that you need to wear layers. Your body heat will create enough warmth for you on the ice. I wouldn't necessarily advise you. I'm sure Miss Susan is a professional, and I'm following her tips to incorporate into my lifestyle. But I would like to also, and I'm sure skaters are familiar with this, skaters that are wonderful skaters, that your body heat and you maneuvering around on the ice is creating tons of heat for you, and you have to breathe. You have to stay airy. You have to feel like a bird flying and floating on frozen water. So I wouldn't advise you to wear even the jacket that I have on right now. Sometimes I wear this when I'm on the ice. Just try not to dress like you're an Eskimo in Antarctica or Alaska. It's not that serious. For little kids, they move around rather slowly, other than the hockey players. You'll get toddlers. Literally every ice skating rink or hockey rink you go to, you'll find that at least one toddler going 100 miles an hour in hockey gear all over the ice. God bless their parents. But normally, regular children tend to move a little bit slower. They're taking their time, and they're kind of holding onto the wall, or they're skating. And if they already know how to skate and they've taken classes, or their parents have taught them, some parents that know how to skate don't have to hire a coach or put their kids in school. They'll take the time out, and some of them are housewives or whatever. They'll go and or even take time off of work and take the time to teach their kids how to skate on ice, and that's how they learn. But my point is that it's not always normal that you'll find tons of children flying across the ice. So it's usually kids that are dressed warmer, okay? They're moving slower, okay? So you'll find that maybe 7, 8, 9, 10, 11-year-olds and such wearing less clothing because they skate faster. They're doing, double axels and doing, all kinds of other things that adults do. The point of what I'm saying is that it says here it is helpful to dress in layers so that you are always comfortable. That's less stress on your body. Actually, it's less stress on your body to wear less clothing. Dress modestly and dress appropriately on the ice because you're going to be around children and adults and adolescents and teens and elderly. There are some coaches that are in their 70s. So just the whole aura of the ice skating rink just requires that you dress properly. But figure skaters know how to dress. Students know how to dress. They dress like performers and professionals. And I suggest that's how you dress. If you want to be a professional skater, if you want to be an Olympic skater, dress like one. I mean, don't feel bad if other kids make fun of you and, they're wearing little warm-up suits and kind of lagging. I suggest that if you want to be like Oksana Bayul and you want to be like Viktor Petrenko, if you want to be like, Irana Slutskaya, and you want to be, like Yuna Kim, then dress like them. Dress like them and you'll go far in life. Okay, moving along. Number 2, the environment. While you cannot control the hardness of the ice surface, I'm only reading tips. I'm not giving you advice. Or at least I'm trying not to. And again, these tips are from Susan Christensen. susieskate@yahoo.com. If you have any questions, contact her. She's a Performers Advantage, LLC, figure skating tip sheet. Okay, the environment, number 2. While you cannot control the hardness of the ice surface or the temperature of the ice rink, you can control what you wear to stay warm. Also, you can choose ideal surfaces for your off-ice training, preferably a sprung dance floor. It's basically hardwood flooring, something of that nature for you to train on. You can spin on it, you can slide on it, you can bounce on it and jump and skip and hop up and down. I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but I'm sure you skaters already know what you're doing and you kind of already understand what I'm saying. Also, you may not be able to keep away the Zamboni fumes, but you can breathe better if you warm up outside or in the lobby portion of the rink. I do not suggest that you sit outside in the parking lot of an ice skating rink and warm up. You'll be making a fool out of yourself. I don't suggest that. At least not on the West Coast. Maybe in the South, maybe in Texas, maybe in Louisiana, maybe in Alabama, because they're very hospitable people and they enjoy sitting on porches. I know, I was raised there for 7 years, the first 7 years of my life. That's where Britney Spears comes from. But they like doing things like sitting on the front porch and waving at traffic on the interstate passing by, and then the interstate traffic blows their horn and says, "Hey, howdy do," hollering out of their window, and you can hear them across the field. If you're in New York or California, I suggest that you warm up in the warm-up section inside the ice skating rink. that would be the proper behavior, even if you're not a skater. Or if you feel better and you do not want to do that, then warm up at your home. Or better yet, if you're an outside person, warm up in your yard outside before you get your parents or you drive yourself or ride the bus to the ice skating rink. Okay, 3, warm up. Before all practices and competitions, keep it consistent, general. Gradually increase heart rate, body temperature, and blood flow to the muscles in your body by performing a series of dynamic exercises for 5 minutes. A dynamic warm-up includes jogging. Now this is a dynamic warm-up. There's several different types of exercise for figure skaters. Well, for all sports athletes or potential athletes. God. But a dynamic warm-up includes jogging, skipping, walking lunges, jumping jacks, jumping rope, karaoke's. I think that says karaoke's. I've never heard of it. I'm sure you skaters may have heard of it. It's CARIOKES. I've got no idea what that means. Sorry. It may be karaoke's or karaoke's. I'm just familiar with the singing karaoke machine. I've never heard of sports karaoke's or exercises, and I don't really feel like looking it up. I'm already giving you the tips. So if you know what they are, then more power to you. Okay, and then there's walking hamstring stretch and butt kicks. Now, I would like to add something to that. There's the Brazilian butt exercise. I found it, or I think it's called the arabesque. Okay, those two are similar to each other. The arabesque is a move that is done in ballet, and that will give you ultimate, if you practice this at home or wherever you're going to be and do this at least 100 times in your exercise, then it's going to give your, careful with your spine and careful with, do it according to your body's capacity. Don't push your body. You're not supposed to feel pain, and you're not supposed to feel hurt. You're not supposed to suffer. If you do find yourself suffering and in pain constantly, please seek the professional care of a physician, this would be an injury caused to your body if you do feel pain. And but if you do have the capacity for stretching, you'd want to do something called the arabesque, which is practiced in ballet, and it's where you kind of stand up tall on one foot, and there's the bar sitting next to you, and then you hold onto the bar and kind of lift your leg, the opposite leg up toward the back of you and stretch it as far as it can possibly go. So let's say these are your two legs, and this leg is standing on the floor, and you'd want to hold on to the bar, which is right here, and then you take this leg and pull it back, up and down, pull this leg back, up and down, so that, or you can pull this leg, we'll do this one. Pull this leg back and forth, up, hold it, down, back, hold it, and then go back down. And, or you can look it up and see exactly what it is. This gives you, one of my favorite skaters is, figure skaters, is a gold medalist by the name of Irina Slutskaya. And She is one of the absolute most flexible, let me say this correctly. She's one of the absolutely most flexible figure skaters of all time in history. Okay? If you, and there are many graceful skaters out there, and I'm sure, this upcoming skaters are fairly, flexible in your own way. If you'd like to become more flexible, or you'd like to add some spunk or creativity to your choreography, I suggest that you partner up, find or ask advice from Irana Slutskaya. You can get a hold of one of her agents if it's possible. Not sure where she resides now. She may still reside in Russia. Maybe she's sometimes in Canada or in the United States. But her style, along with Oksana Bayul's style, is great. They each have their own unique style. But as far as flexibility is concerned, Irana Slutskaya has the absolute best technique on the ice as far as flexibility is concerned and creativity. If you'd like to increase your flexibility, you may want to follow her style and maybe have your agents partner up with her agents, and then you can find out exactly what her secrets are to becoming one of the most flexible athletes on ice of all time. Sport-specific warm-ups. Following a general warm-up, spend another 5 minutes doing exercises that will prepare you for figure skating. Start with ankle hops, stationary jumps, quarter rotational jumps, clockwise and counterclockwise, half rotational jumps, and so on, depending on your skating ability. Never push yourself over what your skating capacity is, because it's all about fun. Unless you have a skating career and you have professionals that are working closely with you to coach and guide you, and make sure that you're not causing any injuries to yourself that are unnecessary. Even though it all involves injuries, sometimes, all the time. But we have ways of preventing injuries and ways of promoting skating professionally without actually causing permanent injuries to your body, especially your spine or ankles. Work on landing positions, both sides, spiral positions, both sides, and any other skill you might be working on that day, such as laybacks, sit spins, etc. Number 4, cool down. After all practices and competitions, or during long breaks in skating, cooling down gradually slows the heart rate after exercise to avoid an abrupt drop in blood pressure. Also, the lactic acid, which is produced during vigorous exercise, is reduced with a proper cool down. Lactic acid causes soreness 24 to 48 hours following exercise. You will recover quicker so that you will be ready for that next skating session. Okay, number five, stretch. In the morning, before and after practice and competitions, at night during your favorite TV show. Gently stretch all of your major muscle groups. Okay, hold each stretch for 30 seconds and repeat 2 to 4 times. Careful not to bounce. If you feel pain, you are stretching too hard. Once you have done all of your general stretches, you can practice your splits 3 ways. Bridges, Biellmans, etc. Stretching should be done multiple times every day. Okay? Number 6, aerobics. Yes, aerobics. Long and steady. Aerobic exercise is any activity which utilizes oxygen to produce energy. Okay? To improve your aerobic conditioning, you will need to select an activity such as jogging or biking, things like that, that you can sustain for 20 to 30 minutes nonstop. You want to be breathing harder than normal, but you should be able to carry on a conversation. Okay? Skating doesn't count since you tend to start and stop so much. This will improve your lung capacity and make your heart stronger and more efficient. Depending on where you are in your training cycle, you will do aerobic activity 1 to 3 times per week. Number 7, anaerobics. Think intervals. Anaerobic exercise is activity which is done at a very intense level for a shorter duration, 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Okay, you will be breathing heavily during anaerobic exercise. Usually, you repeat the exercise several times with a short rest in between. For example, sprint for 30 seconds and then jog to recover. Then repeat 4 to 6 times. Some skaters like to use the slide board. You can substitute back-to-back program run-throughs as you get closer to your competitive season. Remember, when you are nervous, you require more stamina for your program. Depending on where you are in your training cycle, you will do anaerobic exercise 0 to 3 times per week. Number 8, strength training. Improving strength can enhance your skating while preventing injuries. Many skating skills are performed to one side, resulting in muscle imbalances. Many injuries can be prevented, as I was talking about earlier, by maintaining equal strength from left to right and optimum balance on the muscles from front to back. Strengthen your upper body, lower body, and core by performing exercises specific for your age, conditioning experience, and skating level 1 to 3 times per week. So it doesn't matter if you're 25 or 35, or if you are elderly and skating. Basically, perform exercises that are specific for your age group. Number 9, improve balance and coordination. Incorporating balance exercises into your program will improve the stability. Oh, that's what I thought it said. Will improve the stability in your core, hips, and ankles. Balance exercises help prevent injuries by improving proprioception. It's a fancy word for body awareness. Now, this is really important to me. I do not like falling, okay? When I'm on the ice, whether we're not going to focus on whether or not I'm an Olympic skater or whether or not I'm a professional skater or a career skater or just a hobbyist. But what we are going to focus on is the fact that I do not like falling, because safety is the key to me enjoying what I consider a hobby. Um, and if you do have hobbies, I would like to tell you, don't let anybody get in the way of your hobbies. Don't let anybody bully you or out of jealousy make death threats to you, so that you can stay away from things that bring you joy and happiness, or things that you would like to learn, because life is about growing, learning, testing things out, experimenting with things that are safe. And if you know that you're a safe person and other people are determined out of jealousy to tell you that even breathing is dangerous just because they have hatred toward you, then I suggest you cut out as many of those people out of your life as possible. Basically, when I'm enjoying my hobby, I have this pet peeve for falling. I do not like falling at all. I just do not. And basically, even if I look like a 2-year-old on ice around 10th graders that are skating for championships, if I know that I am not an Olympic skater and that I am trying to learn new things, it's better for me to feel more balance and control over my legs and my feet and my ankles, and practicing control and awareness of my body's balance on ice, than to try and look cool and do things that I know I don't yet hold the capacity to experience. We all want to soar and reach for the sky, but that takes a lot of hard work, effort, and also we have to be realistic with ourselves and practice things that our bodies have the capacity to practice. So basically, although I'm aging, I still see, skaters that enjoy skating. They're in their 40s, and you never stop loving things that you like to do. So basically, if you acquire, let's say if you have, there's something called the Paralympics, okay, as we should all be aware of. And the Paralympics for 2014, I believe, are about to begin. And those people are great examples to everyone across the world that have always wanted to do something